Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to revise Chapter 8, Al-Fail Al-Mabni Lil-Majhul. Introduction. The passive fail or fail al-Mabni lil-Majhul is a fail form that is used to express the occurrence of an action while keeping the doer of that action anonymous. The passive fail or al-fail al-Mabni lil-Majhul is a fail form that is used to express the occurrence of an action while keeping the doer of that action anonymous. In Arabic, majhul literally means unknown or anonymous. The sentence, the cake was eaten, for example, is considered majhul because the one who ate the cake is not known. The same goes for the sentence, the cake is eaten. Both Madi and Mudare can be majhul. To determine whether something is passive in either Arabic or English, find the action and ask yourself, do I know who performed the action? If the answer is no, then it is passive, otherwise it is active. Let's have a look. Are the following sentences active or passive? We were told good things about the Arabic program. We were told. So we were told, and the one who tells is not mentioned. We were told. So this is a passive. The students had breakfast on campus this morning. Who had breakfast? The students had breakfast. So this is active. Her parents were going to move from abroad. Her parents. Who was going to move? Parents. Her parents. So this is not passive, this is active. The cupboards are being emptied right now. But who is emptying the cupboards is not known. So this is passive. They were advised against buying real estate in California. They were advised by whom? No one knows. So they were advised. So this is passive. We were on our way to work when he called. So we were on our way to work when he called. There's nothing absent about it, nothing anonymous. So this is active. Sentence structure. There are two core parts to a passive jumla failure. They are al-fail al-mabni lil-majhul, the action itself, and the passive fail. Then second part is naibul file, the done to, the thing, person, or the action was done to. The thing or person, the action was done to. So in the sentence, the cake was eaten. The passive fail is was eaten. And the done to is the cake. So the fail is was eaten and the done to or the naibul file is the cake. Know that because the one carrying out the fail is anonymous, a sentence with fail mabni lil majhul can never have a file in it. Also know that because the done to is labeled as the naibul file, passive sentences do not contain a maf'ul bihi. Additional information can appear in the sentence in the form of muta'alliq bil fail or a zarf. Let us learn more about the two core components of a jumla failure with a passive. So let's underline the fail once and the naibul file twice. The fruits and vegetables were washed and dried one by one. What was washed? The fruits and vegetables. So this is fruits and vegetables is the naibul file and were washed is the fail. The emperor's robes are stitched by hand. Emperor's robe is going to be the naibul file and are stitched is the fail. The prisoners were released. Were released is the fail and the prisoners are the done to or the naibul file. This dictionary was compiled. Was compiled is the fail and this dictionary is the done to or the naibul file. My team was never defeated. Never defeated. And we were given the gold medal at the tournament last year. Never defeated was never defeated by who? So my team is the naibul file and we were given, we is the naibul file. His house was robbed while he was away. The house, his house is the naibul file and was robbed is the verb. So al-fail, al-madi, al-mabni, lil-majhul have a look at the following: passive, past passive, verbs or afal. Nusira, he was helped. Untusiru, they were given victory. Ukhrijat, she was expelled. Rufi'at, Rufi'tu, I was lifted. Ujibna, they were impressed. So it's a feminine. Ujibna, they were impressed. Past passives are characterized by the following. The second to last letter of the original fail takes a kasra. The second to last letter of the fail takes a kasra. Every other haraka before this is changed into a dhamma. The haraka on the last letter remains the same. If there is a sukoon anywhere on the word, it does not change. Okay. So the second to last letter takes a kasra. So let's look at nasara. It becomes, second to last letter is the swad. So it will become C with the kasra. So second to last letter of the original form of the verb. Second to last letter, like the middle letter or second to last letter, takes a kasra. Anything before this takes a dhamma, and the last letter remains the same, and the sukoon or any letter with the sukoon remains the same. So if we have istaghfara, istaghfira, ustughfira. Okay. Istaghfara becomes istaghfira, and then first we change the second to last letter to kasra, and then we change the previous letters with harakas to u. So ustughfira becomes the passive form. Similarly, katalu becomes katilu and then kutilu. Step by step. First we make the second to last letter to a kasra, katilu, ti, and then we turn the ka into ku, kutilu. The last sound and the sukoon sound will remain the same. Now have a look at this table. Nusira, huwa nusira, huma nusira, nusiru, hiya nusirat, huma nusirata, hunna nusirna. Anta nusirta, antuma nusirtuma, antum nusirtum. Anti nusirti, antuma nusirtuma, antunna nusirtunna, ana nusirtu, nahnu nusirna. Huwa nusira, huma nusira, hum nusiru. Hiya nusirat, huma nusirata, hunna nusirna. Anta nusirta, antuma nusirtuma, antum nusirtum. Anti nusirti, antuma nusirtuma, antunna nusirtunna. Ana nusirtu, nahnu nusirna. Similarly, we have these drill words below. So, for example, akhaza becomes ukhiza. Huwa ukhiza, huma ukhiza, hum ukhizu. Hiya ukhizat, huma ukhizata, hunna ukhizna. Anta ukhizta, antuma ukhiztuma, antum ukhiztum, anti ukhizti, antuma ukhiztuma. Antunna ukhiztunna, ana ukhiztu, nahnu ukhizna. Khalaka. So we will change it into passive by huwa khulika, huma khulika, hum khuliku, hiya khulikat, huma khulikata, hunna khulikna. Anta khulikta, antuma khuliktuma, antum khuliktum, anti khulikti, antuma khuliktuma, antunna khuliktunna, ana khuliktu, nahnu khulikna. So we have done yastaghfiru, yustaghfiru, and yustaghfaru. This is fail madare. Mabni lil majhul. Let's see. I thought this is yeah. We have to do mudare. Present passives are characterized by the following. Let's see example words first. Yun saru, yun tasaruna, tukhraju, urfau, yojabna. So yun saru, he is helped. Yun tasaruna, they are given victory. Tukhraju, she is expelled. Urfau, I am lifted. Yojabna, they are impressed. Present passives are characterized by the following. The first letter gets a dhamma. Every haraka becomes a fatha. The haraka on the last letter remains the same, and if there is a sukoon on the word, it does not change. So first letter takes a dhamma, every other letter becomes fatha. So when the verb is yastaghfiru, yustaghfaru. Okay. Yastaghfiru becomes yustaghfaru. Begin with the active form. First letter gets a dhamma. Every other haraka becomes a fatha. Then last haraka remains the same. Sukoon remains the same. Yaktuluna, yuktaluna. So this also we have to note. It has to go back to the original form, katala. So second to last letter of the original katala takes a kasra. Every other haraka becomes fatha. Yaktuluna, yuktaluna, yuktuluna, yuktaluna. I think this is the typo. The second to last letter of the original fa'ala takes a dhamma. What's the kasra here? Anyway. Huwa yunsaru, huma yunsarani, hum yunsaruna, hiya tunsaru, huma tunsarani, hunna yunsarna. Anta tunsaru, antuma tunsarani, antum tunsaruna, anti tunsarina, antuma tunsarani, antunna tunsarna, ana unsaru, nahnu nunsaru. Huwa yunsaru, huma yunsarani, hum yunsaruna, hiya tunsaru, huma tunsarani, hunna yunsarna. Anta tunsaru, antuma tunsarani, antum tunsaruna, anti tunsarina, antuma tunsarani, antunna tunsarna, ana unsaru, nahnu nunsaru. Learning to recognize and translate passives. When looking at a fail, you should be able to determine whether it is past or present, whether it is active or passive. First, determine whether it is past or present. Do so by looking for a hamza ya ta and noon beginning and a mudari ending, or one of the madi endings. If the past tense, look for e sound, one or more dhamma and one kasra. If it is present, look for the a sound and one dhamma and one or more fatha. Find the inside pronoun. Once you have figured out the tense, the inside pronoun, and whether it is active or passive, you should be able to translate. Past passive translates as X was ed, and present is translated as X is ed. So something was helped, or someone is helped, or similarly. So خُلِقوا علمنا نفضل أمرت يتذكر ترجعون. These are practice verbs and naibul file. Recall that the naibul file is the done to. In the sentence, the cake was eaten, the word cake is the naibul file. Though the roles differ, the grammatical rules of the naibul file are exactly the same as the rules of the file. There are two types of naibul file, the dhamir mustatir inside, and if the done to is a pronoun, outside if the done to is other than a pronoun. When the naibul file is outside, it must come after the fail. The fail must be in the huwa hiya form. It must be marfu. In the sentence nusirna, for example, naibul file is the inside pronoun nahnu. In the sentence nusiral muslimuna, naibul file is al muslimuna, and after it is after the fail, which is in the huwa form, and it is marfu. Let us take a look at the few examples of passive sentences in the Quran. Duriba masalun. An example was struck. Unzilat suratun. A surah was sent down. Yurzakuna fiha. They are given provisions in it. Uiddat lil muttaqeen. It was prepared for the God conscious. If the fail, finding the naibul file in a sentence. If the fail is in the huwa hiya form, look for an outside naib file. If there is one, it will be the first rafa after the fail. If the fail is not in the huwa hiya form, it cannot have an outside naibul file. Do not look for one. Translate the naibul file as the done to or the receiver of the action where it is inside or outside, whether it is inside or outside. So these are drills. And then the rhetorical benefits of the passive voice. Every passive verb has an active alternative. The distinguishing feature of a passive is that the doer is left unknown. When the speaker chooses not to mention the doer, the focus is shifted to the action or the object of the action. This can be for one of several reasons. When there is no reason to mention the doer, وَإِذَا هُيِّئْتُمْ بِتَحِيَّةٍ فَحَيُّوا بِأَحْسَنَ مِنْهَا أَوْ رُدُّوهَا. If you are greeted with a greeting, then greet using a better greeting or return it. So, if you hear the signs of Allah being disbelieved or mocked, do not sit with them. إِذَا سَمِعْتُمْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ يُكْفَرُ بِهَا أَوْ يُسْتَهْزَأَ بِهَا فَلَا تَقْعُدُوا مَعَهُمْ فَإِنْ أُثِرَ عَلَى أَنَّهُمَا استحقا إثما فآخران يقومان مقامهما. If it is discovered they are guilty, let two others take their place. Okay. Out of respect of Allah. We do not know of evil if evil is intended for those on earth or if their master intends guidance for them. وَأَنَا لَا نَدْرِي أَشَرٌ أُرِيدَ بِمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ أَمْ أَرَادَ بِهِمْ رَبُّهُمْ رَشَدًا. We do not know if evil is intended for those on earth. لُعِنُوا فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. They were cursed in this world and the next. Specifying the file restricts it to that of file, not specifying the file leaves it open unlimited. Transitivity. You may have noticed that the role of the naibul file is passive. In a passive sentence is similar to the role of the maf'ul bihi in a non-passive sentence, though the labels and statuses are different. They both play the role of the thing, person that is affected by the fail. In the sentence, Hamza ate the cookie, the word cookie is the thing that is affected by the action. The sentence is not passive, so cookie is a maf'ul bihi. In the sentence, the cookie was eaten, the word cookie is the thing that was affected by the action, and the sentence is passive, so the cookie is the naibul file. Again, the labels differ, but the roles that maf'ul bihi and naibul file play are very similar. Knowing this, it will not surprise you to know that when converting non-passive sentence to a passive sentence, that was the maf'ul bihi. What was the maf'ul bihi in the non-passive version becomes the naibul file in the passive version. Now recall that every passive sentence must have a naibul file. This means that if a sentence does not have a maf'ul bihi, it cannot be made passive while retaining the same meaning. This is because if there is no maf'ul bihi, there is nothing that can be turned into a naibul file. Recall the maf'ul bihi is optional. The sentence made up of a fail and file is considered a complete sentence. In some cases, the sentence lacks a maf'ul bihi simply because the speaker chooses not to mention it. In other cases, a sentence lacks a maf'ul bihi because the fail in the sentence cannot take a maf'ul bihi. A fail that cannot take a maf'ul bihi is called a fail lazim. Al-fail lazim. A fail lazim is a fail that cannot take a maf'ul bihi. This is because the nature of the action is such that it only affects the file and cannot affect anything external. To sleep would be an example of a fail lazim. This is because the action of sleeping only affects the file. It is not possible to sleep someone else or to sleep something. A good way to test whether a fail is lazim is to use something or someone as a placeholder for your maful bihi in the sentence. If a sentence does not make sense after doing so, if it requires some sort of preposition or harf in order to make it make sense, then the fail is lazim. Let us put the fail to read to the test. I read something. The sentence makes sense, the fail is not lazim. Let us put the fail to fall to the test. I fell something, I fell someone. Neither of these sentences makes sense, so the fail is lazim. Let us put the fail to laugh. I laughed something, I laughed someone. These don't make sense, so the fail is lazim. Since the two actions to fall and to laugh require a preposition, then they are lazim and therefore cannot be made passive. Al-fail al-mutaaddi. Fail al-mutaaddi is the opposite of a fail lazim. It is a fail that can take a maful bihi. This is because the nature of the action is such that affects something else or someone else. To figure out if the fail is mutaaddi, use the same test mentioned previously. This type of fail can be made passive. Al-fail al-mutaddi li is a fail that can take two maf'ul bihi. It is relevant to our study of passive because the passive sentence can only have one naibul file. When fail mutaddi ala maf'ulin appears in the passive form, it takes one naibul file and one maf'ul bihi. This is the only circumstance in which you will find a maf'ul bihi in a passive sentence. Take a look at the following example. Ullimna mantiqat tayri. We were taught the speech of birds. We were taught the speech of birds. Ullimna mantiqat tayri. Notice that there is one naibul file and one maf'ul bihi.